Ooh, today is a very exciting day because today I will show you what was on this hard drive which I found in the streets. But let's first look for a minute at the little neat discussion which developed on my Facebook page when I posted the previous videos about this hard drive. Nee, stop. This is 2018. You really don't think that people have the attention span to go through all your 3 minutes of ethical evaluation about why you did it? No, but I think it's very important to make clear that archaeologists cannot just do what they feel like. Okay, maybe you got a point. I will make 2 videos. So for those of you who want to hear my ethical considerations, watch these videos. And for those of you who don't like it, you can skip this one and go straight into the actual excavation. I was really happy with responses by Laura and Marjolein. Laura said that for her ethics are really important when, for example, marginalized groups are involved. But she also stressed that taking an ethical stance in archaeology is something you can only do yourself. I alone can decide what is ethically sound and which is not. And I have to be ready to suffer the consequences if I'm wrong. Another quite similar point where I was quite fond with is the point made by Marjolein that where indigenous people are concerned, you always have to consider ownership. Is the hard drive I'm looking at, does this perhaps belong to an indigenous group which contains matter that I have no business looking into? And it's a bit similar to the thing that Gabriel Moshenska said when he was excavating a USB flash drive, and he remarked in his paper, can we see this data as fair game, something we can just pursue freely as archaeologists just because someone lost it? Or are there perhaps limitations? And of course, archaeologists have a long tradition of stepping into other people's domain, violating their terrain, their sacred objects, their sacred places, just because we are doing it in the name of science. To honor the sense of multifocality, I would also like to mention a response I got from a friend of mine who is not an archaeologist, and he just said something like, this whole discussion is a whole bunch of crap and bloody look into the bloody hard drive or stop bloody whining about it. In the case of this hard drive, I think I consider myself to be of the same group as the person who has probably lost this. So what I'm trying to say is that in this case I think only local habits, cultural rules, ethical rules and legislation apply. So let's first look at legislation, and this is something that all contemporary archaeologists encounter, which is that most of the things we study, most of the things of the objects and sites we study do not qualify as archaeological remains in the traditional sense of the word. The same can be said for this hard drive, which does not qualify as an archaeological find under Dutch archaeological cultural resource management policy. So therefore, the only thing we can resort to when, as archaeologists, we want to look into legal matters is the civil code. The civil code, which is called Burgerlijk Wetboek for the Dutch guys. And I've looked into this matter before, so it was an easy search. So I looked up the Civil Code, Book 5, Article 5, which is about unattended objects. And I found a page where this can be read. And it clearly says that every Dutch citizen which finds an unattended good somewhere in the municipality, the citizen is then obliged to declare this found good at the municipality. Yes, and you can really clearly see that it says that right here. I looked this up at the website of the municipality of Wageningen, and I found the information on the website to be quite incorrect. So this made me to 2 things. Firstly, I wrote a letter in which I declared the find of this hard drive, and in the second letter I pointed out that their information on their website is pretty much incorrect and is really confusing for Dutch citizens. Oh fuck, it's him again! So as far as the legal issue goes, this is thereby settled, I think. So what remains is the ethical aspect. If I can look into the hard drive when I know that there's a letter next to it that might be of the same person, so I can sort of put these together. Well, my decision on this point is that right now I have no clear way of telling if the letter and the hard drive are connected. So the only way to find it out, I think Dwayne said that, is to look on the hard drive to see if it is the case and then maybe reconsider. And the second argument is that looking at the data is not the same thing as publishing it or telling you guys what I found. So I can also hold back from that once I've looked at it. But be sure that I do not take this lightly. Looking at the contents of this drive is is connected to responsibility. The things you find as an archaeologist, the things that you excavate, you can never un-excavate. So if you find something, you always have to be prepared to face the responsibility of dealing with that which you have found. So having said that, let's now look what was on the hard drive.